have said engineering felt like pressure and public speaking felt like passion. So when did you first realize that the path you were wasn't truly yours?
I mean, you mean the engineering one?
Yeah.
I happened to study in a college that was number one tier 3 and
Okay.
number 2 in a tier 3 city.
Okay.
So because of that, even though I was trying a lot to fit in the engineering lane, studying, clearing my backlogs, getting up that degree, and trying for placements and stuff, but still at some point I didn't see what I could do in that field. And also, given that being in a tier 3 city, there wasn't any much exposure, I didn't meet a lot of smart people. So because of that, what other interests that I had actually in me, like hobbies, if I were to say, I was somehow kind of good in public speaking. And because of public speaking, I kind of actually knew where to go, where to participate, who to connect with, and whatnot, given that I had social media then and I still have social media now. So now that I didn't know what really I have to do with my engineering, I just figured I'll have to do something with my public speaking and then just go along with whatever that I could come up with in my public speaking journey. Now, I wouldn't get any invites from people to come down and speak at their events or venue and whatnot, but because a social media world was emerging, I felt I should pick up my camera and start speaking. So I made the social media my online stage, created content here and there, tried a few experiments with YouTube, they didn't work out, but then when Instagram Reels turned up, I just uplifted my habit of posting content more, and from there that journey of content creation began. And engineering, I didn't say anything towards it, but I just felt like I'll just put it down and pursue content creation because there's a whole bright career coming up with it. So that's how my story began.
Yeah, that's interesting because this is an era of content creation. Like, there is huge population in our India and in all our world that people are just consuming the content, and because so many people feel this, and very few are honest enough to say it loud. Like, we have a passion to create a content. Yeah. So was there a fear or guilt attached to choosing a passion over a conventional career?
That's a good question. The guilt of pursuing content creation was there actually. Even while I was in college, I was more of a public speaking champion. Not that I'm flexing, but it's that because I was really good at it, I also had validation towards my skill set. But also at the same time, even after I finished my engineering, I still had backlogs to clear. I saw my friends getting placed in a Deloitte, in a Triple IT, or in a TCS or in a Tech Mahindra, and I was sitting in the corner of my room and wondering what should I be doing with my life. And even if I was posting content on social, at least in my mind I was like thinking that people were judging me. People were looking at me as if I was some jobless kid who's just posting videos online and not getting anything in return. And also at the same time, there are also people around you who kind of have a very high regard for you, but they don't understand content creation. And that also kind of put me in a downward spiral, a spiral of, a spiral of guilt, a spiral of problematic thoughts that would come to your mind that stops you from even pursuing the very thing that you wanted to do. So because they have high regards, they want you to pursue a degree, they want you to pursue a job, they want you to be settled and be safe and secure with money and whatnot, which of course is great, but still content creation, I felt like there is a future in it, but I couldn't tell it, they couldn't tell it, and because we both couldn't tell it, there is always that guilt to, that you couldn't cover up.
Yeah. And you just mentioned that you have this specific interest about storytelling, which is just started in your school as well. So, how you mention this thing, that what is the main impact of storytelling in your whole life or in your content creation?
Main impact, as in you're saying, how did it help me and help others overall?
Yeah.
Um, I think it's not school actually, it's college. I think I've picked up storytelling just when I like begun video editing.
Okay.
Video editing, as in I was like learning how to edit video games videos and put them up on YouTube and try them out and delete them and re-edit the videos. Uh, but I feel the impact that it has come to me today and to other people is phenomenal, because each time today right now I go about and tell a story of, say, a killer living in Charminar who kills the hunger of people in the streets, kind of helps people get to know what kind of a person he is, why does he live there, and what he does, and how many more people like him exist. You go tell a story about, say, the world's largest solar cycling track, second largest solar cycling track. Where does this exist? It's in Hyderabad. Oh, I did not know about it. It's that people are not even aware that there are people around us, there are places around us, there are stories around us that kind of are in the most positive side of the world that we live in. So it's because of that people are now having a very valid reason to pursue their dreams or build their ideas. And given that I'm a Hyderabad based creator, storytelling is everywhere, stories are everywhere. But think about being a storyteller for a certain crowd, say Hyderabadis, and you being a storyteller for the people of Hyderabad, picking up the stories of Hyderabad and showing it to them kind of has a very different effect on them. Because even though they may listen to stories like the ones from Bill Gates or the ones from Steve Jobs, what if they get to hear about somebody who comes from the same neighborhood as them and they achieved something from it and they didn't have to fly abroad or leave India just to achieve something? So that's how storytelling has affected, at least in the crowd that I am serving and the audience that I serve.
Exactly. And same, like in 2020s when everything was just like paused, everyone is picking up their camera, making content, and same is happening everywhere. Like, do you remember how you felt while recording your first video? Confident, confused, or just experimenting?
I didn't get the question, sorry.
Like, do you remember when first time you felt while recording your first video, you are very confident, confused, or just experimenting?
Acha. I was a public speaker, so I was already used to speaking to crowds. So if there is a crowd of, say, some 20-30 people in front of me, the nature of speaking to them kind of evolves as you advance as a public speaker. But when it came to camera, the first time when I tried it, I must be honest, it kind of felt awkward, because you are now gonna be speaking to nobody and the camera is documenting you doing that. And that kind of felt so awkward for me that I had to like take multiple takes just to see what fits naturally.
Exactly.
So for the first time when I was recording a video of myself, it was a video essay for YouTube. I was doing a review of the Joker movie, which came back in 2019, and I was low in my voice. I wasn't very loud enough. I wasn't using as much hand gestures as I would actually on a stage. And it just didn't feel like this is me. Like, this cannot be me. This is not how I speak when I'm generally speaking to people. But camera. But I would say that that's part of evolution. That's part of how you grow as a content creator. And no matter how much skillful or how much experience you would be in one thing, just a little switch to one field will tell you how much more there is for you to evolve in.
Yeah. And it's amazing like how uncertainty often become the birthplace of clarity. this is sometimes
Yes.
happen with me as well. Like in public, for in one room we can sit along in front of camera and saying whatever we want, but public speaking, go to the public and speak with the camera is quite a new thing, which is very new for everyone who just tried one first time.
Right.
And the awkwardness is immense. Like how you tackle with the awkwardness.
Public speaking or camera?
With the camera or public speaking as well. Like if someone tried their first time to speak in a public, what things they should remind in their mind, like we are just speaking
So-
with camera.
It's it goes to the part where you actually prepare to speak. Whether it be camera, whether it be stage, doesn't matter. Preparation does not mean you are writing a script and you think that's preparation for you. It's actually you getting up, standing up on your feet and rehearsing that part before you speak to the camera or to the public. Reason?
Yeah.
It's even though you may feel awkward rehearsing it because you're speaking to a wall, you kind of let the content, at least the speech, engrave in you. Not that you are learning it by heart, aap ratta nahi maar rahe usko. It's that you're just engraving it in yourself so much that when you're standing in front of people in that moment of, heart pounding situation, even if there may be words not coming out of your mouth, you will at least remember the flow of it. And because you will remember the flow of it, no matter how weird or awkward you will still be feeling that's not gonna go, you will still speak. And compare that with a situation where you did not prepare for it. You're just in front of your camera, you're just in front of a student, the crowd. And even without preparation, even if you have the speech script in your hand that you've written, how are you going to deal with that awkwardness if there's no preparation? So
Yeah, preparation is a key.
It is.
Yeah. So you kept speaking and along the way you learned video editing. Was editing something you planned to master or did necessity push you into it?
Good question. The short answer is the necessity came about because I just wanted to speak to people, and because I wanted people to hear about my stories, hear about other people's stories, and every opinion and fact that I would share online, it needed refinement. It needed a sort of delivery refinement in a way, and because world of social media is very quick, has so many spotlights, has so many conversations happening, and what people listen to is in their control as against a stage where they are seated in a seat and you are on the stage. People are skipping fast, so how you evolve along with it kind of gets picked up, and for me that was video editing, and I just sticked along with video editing.
And one early mistake in editing that taught you the most?
Early mistake. I don't remember exactly because there have been like several mistakes that have happened in my video editing journey, which kind of also told a lot of things in my content creation. I would say it's cutting the gaps between your speeches, because as you're talking on camera, you can take as long as you can to convey a point. Gaps, pauses, the pacing and whatnot. But in editing, if you're gonna ignore the gaps that you've just made in the video, people are gonna skip that in the first 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You even take 1 second of a gap in between, people are gonna skip. Imagine people skipping a really good content simply because आपका pace इतना बुरा है. It might work for stages, because in stages there's no distraction. But on social media, the distraction is literally in the hands of the scroller and they can skip it anytime. Now imagine 100 people skipping that video. Does that not give the algorithm the answer that you have a low quality content, or may think that it is a low quality content? So cut the gaps.
Yeah. That explains why your content will feel like more intentional, not forced. And the famous one I saw in your Instagram video, where you mentioned the peel of vegetables get recycled.
Uh-huh.
It created a huge impact on my mind. Like living in Delhi, why people didn't try this?
Correct.
Yeah. So you have said the more I refine, the more my storytelling evolves. What does telling means to you today? Is it a structure, emotion, or honesty?
I think it's honesty.
Okay.
Because in honesty, stories evolve by themselves. It's another thing that you're working on something and your story evolves with it. But things that you do honestly, things that appear as data, things that appear as solidified content for you, is enough for you to give you enough space and time to be a storyteller and use that honest content to be part of it. Reason is, if you go pursue content that's lie, if you go try to pursue storytelling जिसमें आप honest नहीं है, you're not being honest, you're kind of manipulating here and there, you won't be able to remember that story few days later, because then the audience is always keeping track. Social media world is crazy. Everyone remembers what you tell them. And when you're stuck in a situation where you tell lies to people, there will be infinite lies that will be coming out of you from that day on, because you will have to cover up that lie more often. Honest stories, it's a well prepared story already in front of you. All it needs a bit of refinement. Your style, your opinion, your format, your take, everything that comes about in this given space is enough for you to uplift it and share it with the world.
Exactly. And like, was there any phase in your content creation journey where you felt you were creating content but not truly connecting with people?
There have been.
Yeah.
There have been, but there wasn't much any difference, except for I was just finding out how not connect with them. I used to create content that was serving around my interests. Like I was thinking that the world around me is the world to which I should be catering to. I used to create content around startup stories, I used to create content around people stories, and they somehow, even if they worked out, they only worked out to some extent. But the moment there was a video that went viral, like literal viral, say a story about Hyderabad, what Hyderabad is, what is it that most of the people don't know, why is it the best city to live in, that video blew up like crazy. And when that video blew up like crazy, I finally realized that people have a connect with the city, people have a connect with the places that they live in, people kind of relate to the places that I've shown in the visuals. People also kind of relate to the description that I've gave about the city of Hyderabad, the people of Hyderabad, the infrastructure of Hyderabad, and that kind of drove the shares around. So I figured, if I were creating people's stories, all the startup stories that only worked for some extent, what if I had created content that served their interest? What if I had created content that was talking around their language? Because I can't be here and tell, today Furqan has gone about and created a video about this killer in Hyderabad. Most people do not relate to a killer. Most people do not relate to, Furqan's story. But if I were to start a video with, say, Charminar is not just a place for food, it's also a place of killing. Let me explain. People are interested. I know Charminar. I lived there. There are food, of course, but killing, I haven't heard about it. That is what you got to realize. Storytelling is all about serving people's interest and not yours. Even if you try to write out the scripts, the hook, the ideas, whatever words that come out of your mouth, it should be from their perspective.
Yeah.
Remember, storytelling is not about how audiences see you, but how audiences see themselves in the story.
Exactly. And that shift from creating a content to creating a connection is powerful.
Correct.
Like over time, you started sharing your work openly, and people begin reaching out in your inboxes, like I as well. Do you remember your first winning collaboration or a paid opportunity?
First, I think first one, wait, let me connect my device. It's actually on low battery. Huh. So, first opportunity was when I created a video of a bazaar in Hyderabad. The bazaar was kind of unique, and because they were like people that were Gen Zs, creators, home businesses, basically people who are from very different creative fields, they were hosting the bazaar. And that bazaar experience was so good that I wanted to make a video about it. So I made a video of it. I took a few shots here and there and made it in a proper storytelling format. After that video blew up, there was somebody knocking on my door. And that person told me, I need your help. And I said, what do you need? And he says, there are some video campaigns that I'm running for my startup, and I saw your edits. Would you be interested to work with me? Like, sure. My first my first freelance gig was actually scored. I finally was able to make money, and my career had just humbly begun. So that was my first ever paid opportunity that came about. And then from there, a serendipity of more opportunities came about. I worked on my skill set. I tried to evolve with my work as well, because back then I was kind of more like a baby. Now that I look back, and things kept going on.
Yeah. At that moment, did you finally see yourself as a creator, or self-doubt still exists as a creator?
Self-doubt stopped coming about since that day on, because as a creator, you also get to see what's the whole picture of content creation like in the market. In the beginning, people think content creation is you getting followers, you getting the views, likes, shares, comments, and brands reach out to you, you get sponsorships. That's content creation world. Content creation world itna nahi hai. There is a lot more than that. You can treat your Instagram as if it's your public resume. If you say create content around anything using whatever skill set you have, for me it's speaking and editing and writing, of course. People who are in need of editors, in need of script writers, in need of presenters will be reaching out to you, because now they know who to reach out to, because they saw your content. And because of that, the people, at least in the creative field, what I've noticed is people are no longer looking at resumes. Even if they are, it's not kind of helping anymore. And they are now looking at your Instagram, and you're getting hired because they saw your work directly without through papers or you know what barriers that exist. So I've gotten my first full-time content writer role just because I was consistent on Instagram. I was creating content on Instagram because somebody needed me to sit on their social media front and create content for them. I was getting paid on a monthly salary. There was an incubation company that needed startup stories spoken on camera, and I felt I should do that, and I helped them, and it kind of worked out. There was a creator, India's largest, one of the largest creators, I would call him, Ankur Wariku. I cold emailed him with my videos and edits that I was able to come about. He saw my Instagram. He didn't see any degree or resume. When there was an offer for a video editor role, I took it up. And I was part of WebVeda. I edited his courses, his ads, his landing page videos. And there is still a world out there who wants to offer you jobs, who wants to offer you collabs, who wants to offer you freelance gigs, who wants to offer you any type of work opportunity that you did not know exist, the one offering did not know existed, but because there is a connect, you posting content, them having a need creates that bridge and opportunities will start flowing.
Exactly, and that's has happened with me as well. I treat my LinkedIn as my portfolio, in which I write a lot of articles, and there is a publication house who sponsor my first book completely, and that's how my journey began.
Nice.
Yeah. So you have just mentioned, like, you have edited Ankur Warikoo courses. Let's come up to this. Content consumed by millions, and what's behind the scene lesson that from that experience the most people don't see. So I just want to, is there a principle from working with him that you have concisely applied to your own work?
As in on the content creation front, or what? Can you rephrase the question, Iqbal?
Like working with Ankur sir, is there any principle you learn from him that you concisely work and apply to your own work?
What I apply to my work? Not really on something that I apply to my work, but I think it's something that I would apply to overall in general, and that is you can work with people without having to come down to offices, without having to come down for interviews, or even without having to sit down in a video call and discuss ideas and launch a course overnight. The world is remote, the world is online, everyone has access to technology, technology and whatever skills that they have, and communication, of course, which is a mandatory thing. You can always work on something without having to meet people down. Everyone was scattered around in India when we were in the team. Some was from Bangalore, some was from Delhi, some was from Jaipur, some was from Indore. I was from Hyderabad, and we didn't have to come down and meet to launch a course within a quarter that is 19 hours long and would go to lakhs of people. So that is something I figured that I think I can do if I were to build a team or something like that. But in work front, on what I would do, I don't think ऐसा कुछ उतना effect नहीं हुआ. But still, that is something I would someday apply when I would expand and grow.
तो मैंने तो आपके LinkedIn पे immense followers देखे, that also very like attractive. But what do you but according to new beginners, it is much more than that. So what are the most social media platform you think कि यहाँ पे grow होना बहुत easy है as compared to आप इधर कुछ ऐसे social media platform है जहाँ competition बहुत high है? So how can you differentiate between more competitive platform than low competitive platform?
I wouldn't treat any competition as a competition at all. Instagram may be the hardest place to grow in, simply because there is a lot of competition and the algorithm is very, very advanced right now. But I wouldn't look at all of that. I would say, I don't know if you've heard of Naval Ravikant, but if you've picked any of his podcast content, any of his tweets, you will get to listen to this one advice that he would keep giving, and that is, if you're authentic, nothing can beat you there. And authentic is the part where you are being something that you yourself are not comfortable being in front of other people, but you're comfortable being yourself alone. Like say, I'm a Hyderabadi, not born Hyderabadi, but I live in Hyderabad, so my dialect is thoda bahut towards Hyderabadi. I speak good English, but I'm very poor in pure Hindi. Thoda bahut nahi aata hai mujhe pure Hindi. But still, on camera, I do my best, whatever there is in how I appear if I were alone. So on camera, on stories, anywhere, I talk in the normal language that I do. I talk in the English, the proper English that I've already built as a repertoire. But that does not mean that I should readjust myself to the audience simply because the audience have come about and started listening to me. Authenticity is when people get to discover, oh, he speaks good English and he's a little bit of Hyderabadi. He loves biryani, he loves chai. I haven't heard about most of the people who are like him. Let's follow this person. This is authenticity.
Exactly.
What you're good at, what you're not good at, but still you're fine about it. What is it something for which you don't have to readjust towards? There will be no competition for that. No one can be like you. No one can beat you. So any social media platform you go about, just share your messages wholeheartedly, unfiltered, without any alterations, modifications, and readjusting. The world will be following you.
And how do you treat your LinkedIn profile? Is it just a platform for you, or you are also creating content over there like your portfolio as well?
Abhi, I'm not creating much content over there. Usually before I used to do a lot. But I treat LinkedIn like it's my, what do you say? It's a place where once I am at this verge of looking for more opportunities, I just start creating content. So what kind of content, if I were to do that in the field that I am in, I would do content that is more of what people actually need and just keep posting that. I wouldn't look at how my profile picture looks. It's another day, another topic if you should have a good profile picture. I don't look at what's the perfection of a tagline that I have. I'm not looking at what's my bio and what's my experience list looking like. That refinement is secondary. इससे कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. That's only an amplifier of your profile. But आपकी प्रोफाइल लोगों को दिखना चाहिए पहले, और उसको दिखने के लिए आप कंटेंट बनाओ.
Exactly.
LinkedIn, I would say, is the best place to create content, especially for beginners, because अगर आप Instagram पे या YouTube पर जाएंगे, you have to open up your camera and start speaking. But LinkedIn पे, you just write and post, write and post. You have a picture associated with it. Take a picture, take a selfie, put along with it, write and post. So LinkedIn is the best platform to grow on if you just push everything and anything that comes to your mind work related. Doesn't matter whatever those ideas would be, but if you just keep consistently posting, there will be people already flooding in your inboxes.
Yeah, and this explains why strategy matters more than just consistency. Like how you treat every platform differentially.
Correct.
And if you had to choose one identity today, like editor, speaker, or storyteller, which one truly represents you? And which side of you are you still concisely building?
I would say storytelling.
Okay.
Because storytelling is a broad umbrella, because as a storyteller, you know what goes into editing and you also know what goes into your words. So as long as you're good with storytelling, everything else will sit together. Otherwise, speaking will have a different direction, narrating will have a different direction, and they'll have no purposes, but storytelling is there. It has an aligned direction all together in one place.
Okay, so for people who want to speak, like my audience is just like young generation of India who just want to learn something new, and for people who want to speak but hesitate to turn on the camera, what honest advice would you give them?
Buy my course, Cracking Communication. Not that I am forcing you to do that. It's not like a marketing ploy. It's up to you if you want to. It's in my Instagram bio. But if you want to speak on camera, and that was the question, right? Just speaking on camera?
Yeah, just speaking on camera.
I would say just prepare.
Yeah.
Go on.
And like just they want to show up their inner self to the everyone. ठीक है, ये मेरा talent है, inner talent. What your advice है? How you just start without thinking anything another than your talent or whatever you have?
I would say just post. There's no how to for it. Because
Exactly.
no matter how many abundant tutorials there are on the internet, YouTube, WikiHow, eHow, Wikipedia, Google, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Grok, बहुत सारे tools है, बहुत सारे tutorials भी मिलेंगे. There will be hundreds and thousands of tutorials out there on how to start, but नहीं, thousands of tutorials on how to do something, but there will never be a tutorial on how to start. And that starting is something only you can do because आपके हाथ और आपके पैर आपके पास है, आपके थॉट्स और आपके दिल आपके पास है. अब इससे आपको गाड़ी कैसे चलाना है वो आपके पास ही रहना चाहिए. So
Exactly.
you can read a book on swimming, you can read a book on driving, but driving can only begin when you sit in the seat and you switch on the gear.
Right.
So just start. It doesn't matter how perfect that is. Finding the right time to start will only drain the motivation energy that you need for your best start.
Yeah. If today's Furqan could speak to his 2020 self, what would he say in one sentence?
You should have posted more content than you are doing right now.
Okay. Okay. This story wasn't meant to go viral. It was meant to reach the right inbox. And if something from this conversation stay with you, then you have found yourself in the right place. And yeah, this is just today conversation with Furqan. And thank you so much.